Okay. Welcome back to Mage Night. We are continuing our exploration of learning this game. Very fascinating game. We are continuing to do this first conquest one, where it's just one city. Just because it's kind of a good length for a video, I think, for one video. I mean, we can do multi-part stuff, but I don't really, like the minions. If I can do it in one video, it's kind of nice. We'll bump it up to a city level 6, though. How about that? And for our Mage Knight, we're gonna be playing as Bravelar from one of the official expansions. A druid who knows the land well, moving through it with ease and using the environment to defend and heal himself. He can learn to call upon storms of mana and travel through mountains and lakes. Okay, see how it goes. All right. So we have a dungeon here, which is pretty interesting because a lot of people say that you can actually complete a dungeon on the first turn. If you have the right hand and everything, you'll probably take a couple wounds, maybe like 1 or 2 wounds, but that allows you to get some fame. Almost certainly, you'll level up. But you'll also most likely get an artifact, but possibly a spell, and that's a pretty nice swing on like turn 1. For our opening hand, I'm wrong color. Hold on. For opening hand, we have Threaten, Tranquility. Yeah, we have Rage and Determination. That's pretty good. Druidic Paths, move 2. Move cost of 1 space is reduced by 1 this turn to a minimum of 2. Doesn't really help us. In the source, we have 2 golds. Okay. Sure. I'm sure there's some rules related to that. We have a blue, a green, and a gold. So that's pretty good. That's a pretty good spread. We only need 4 move to get to the dungeon, and then we can just activate it. So I'm kind of inclined to do Rethink. It's an early number, so we're likely to go first. And we could ditch Threaten and Tranquility for now, in the hopes of getting something else. Now, we could have taken Great Start, but I think this is essentially the same thing. Okay, that's all right. Nope, he got 1, so he gets to go first. And of course, he got white, so sure. Awesome. I mean, what do you want me to do? You can't pick one every single time you play the game. You know, it's just, eventually the dummy's going to go before you. Deal with it. All right, so moving on to the thing. We can play Swiftness and Druidic Paths. That's true. Which would free up the mana from the source for Determination and Rage. But I'm worried I might have to actually spend Swiftness. But I can't. No, we can't. So we don't have to technically do it on turn 1. It's just kind of faster if you do. But yeah, at a certain point, it wouldn't be the best thing possible if we're just like, if we can't even kill it. But with the gold on here, that's attack 4, and we can do attack 2 here. So we can muster up attack 6, which is almost certainly enough to kill a lot of shit in there. Otherwise, we can pivot and block 5, block 2. Like, if we can't kill it with that, we can just block it and not worry about it yet. So we have some insurance there. So in that case, I think we're going to go Druidic Paths and Swiftness to move 4. It's a little inefficient, but it'll be a lot less inefficient if we kill this. It is the Shadow. This is actually kind of perfect, really. Well, not perfect, but it's a pretty good situation We can kill it with just using Rage and the gold die. We can't really block it. It's cold fire, so all of our blocks would be halved in value, and it's 4. So I'd have to basically, even if I played, I'd have to play all 3 cards and dump everything in order to just block it. But otherwise, it's only 2 wounds. That's about what we expected. Again, I'm trying to be a bit more aggressive and just take life in your hands. Take life by the reins. So we're going to take our 2 wounds from him punching us. So he hits us for 4. It goes down by 2. We take a wound. It goes down by 2. We take a wound. It goes down by 2, and it's at 0. Then we will play Rage with the gold die for 4. He's elusive, so it would have been 8 ranged attack or siege attack. But after you block or after... Oh. Well, is elusive just after the block phase, or do I actually have to block him? Ooh, in which case that would be very bad. Lower value is only used in the attack phase, and only if all of the enemy attacks are successfully blocked. Any armor modifications apply to both values. So no, that's not good. Then I can't kill this, nor can I tank it. I'd have to dump my whole hand just to avoid the 2 wounds, and then we're still up shit creek. This was actually the worst thing possible. I thought elusive was just for range attacks, but no, it's that until you block him. Yeah, in that case... Yeah, I have to dump my whole hand to block it, which isn't great. Because then we have to do this, this, this for block 8. Meaning that this was a really shitty start. That sucks. Was that just like the only one I couldn't have killed? Let me just look at another one. So a werewolf would have been really shitty, because you have swiftness with 7 attack. So that would have hurt like hell. I would have taken 4 wounds and almost died. But I absolutely could have killed him with 2 cards. So that I could have killed. Gargoyle has physical resist. That I probably wouldn't have been able to kill. No, I can only muster up 6, 7. Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to kill, but I would have blocked it just fine. So that would have been fine. No wounds there. With 1 card, I would have blocked. The Crypt Worm, I would have taken 3 wounds, but then I would have been able to kill with 2 cards. The Hydra, I would have taken 3 wounds, but I would have been able to kill with 2 cards. I'm looking through all of them, man. I just want to see. Crypt Worm, same thing. The Gargoyle, still pretty bad. The Minotaur would have sucked. That I would have had to have blocked, because if I didn't block it, he would do 10 attack to me, which would be 5 wounds, and that would actually knock you out. And I didn't mention that last time. I mentioned before when you're on the city of like, well, sure, you could just take 1,000 wounds and then win. But no, you actually cannot. There's a rule for getting knocked out. If you take a number of wounds in one combat phase, like at one time, basically, from one or more enemies that equal or exceed your hand size limit, you get knocked out. And you basically have to dump your whole hand of non-wound cards, and you get kicked out of the combat, or, it's over. So you can't do that. So I would have to block the Minotaur, and I wouldn't be able to kill that. There's another Shadow. There's another Werewolf. Medusa also I would have had to have blocked with 2 cards, and wouldn't have been able to kill. Yeah, not without extra mana. No, so maybe I was just foolhardy. I think maybe I just didn't have the cards necessary to do this. It was going to be kind of brutal for most of these. Yeah, dungeon turn 1 is, I think dungeon round 1 is pretty doable. I'm going to start this over, of course, cuz it just doesn't sit right with me. But that's cuz I'm a bad player and I just want to learn. Okay. We definitely got a worse start. There's a maze here, which we could utilize. We'd have to, it's basically the same as a dungeon, but I'd have to spend an extra 2 move to do it. And that would just be to get a couple crystals, which isn't bad, along with the fame and stuff, but we already saw how well that was going to go. Alternatively, we can attempt to fight the Ironclads, but they have physical resist, so I'd need quite a bit of attack. And 4 attack for them. We got 2 greens and a gold. And I'd have to still get there, which is the other troublesome part. I don't think we can do any of that this turn, unless maybe I take Great Start. Even then, I'm not so sure. Otherwise, it's kind of shitty in this direction. I would need 6 move to get next to the Cursed Hags. But with Druidic Paths, playing that, we can get a move 4, and the move cost of one type of terrain is reduced by 1 this turn to a minimum of 2, so this would be just 2. So with that, with Druidic Paths, I could get here pretty easily. And then with... I think rethink again, actually. I don't know. I like the mulligan. Tranquility. Crystallize. Maybe improvisation. But it's a form of attack, and I'm not guaranteed to get much attack, so... Okay, that works out, actually. Alright, so we definitely want to use Druidic Paths. I can use Concentration to get the blue token, which we could then spend. Or I can use the gold and then use Concentration. Or I could use... Okay, hold on. I could use the bottom of Concentration with the green to use the bottom of Druidic Paths. And that would actually get us onto the Glade, but then I would have to fight the Hags. The problem with that is I wouldn't be able to spend any mana, so it would all be the top side effects. And taking the hit from the Hags would be 2 wounds. It would actually be 4 wounds, so we really don't want to do that. I can discard Improvisation in order to get block 3, which would block it, but then I can't really muster up the 4 attack this turn, so not likely. We use the gold on Druidic Paths. That gets us to the forest next to the Hags. And then I could use the top of Concentration to get a red token to then spend on Rage. We use Improvisation to block 3. Dumping... No, I need the bottom Improvisation to kill the Hags with 5. I don't see it happening this turn. So I think then the safest, easiest thing to do is just use the bottom of Druidic Paths with the gold and move 4 here. And then just sit. Worst comes to worst, we have green, then use with Concentration. Okay, white's pretty useless. Threaten, okay. Alright, so now Yes, we can do determination block 2 with dumping threaten, and that's block 3. And then I can use concentration, red token on improvisation, dumping rage for attack 5, and then we kill it. And we use our whole hand just to get a kill on a cursed hag for 3 fame. Downside is we dump 5 cards on this turn. Upside is we get a level, which is pretty good. Yeah, I mean, Cursed Hag's an annoying enemy. Unless you have ranged attack, they're just kind of annoying, so it's probably about as good as we're going to get. So that's going to be on that, and that's going to be... Oh, wait, but we're using the bottom of concentration, which buffs something by 2. So we can actually buff Rage to 6, which means I can use improvisation with determination to get block 3. Keeping threaten in our hands in case we want to go to the monastery. Is there anything on offer? Yes, the herbalist. Or illusionist would be pretty damn slick. Or northern monks, which have 4 armor, attack or block 3, or blue mana for ice attack or ice block 4. That's a pretty good card. Okay. Yes. It's assuming we can muster up 5 influence. Or, assuming we can get a red mana. Oh, I needed it to do this. Okay. Yes, I think this plan is much better. Yeah, I'm okay with it. And we'll get a level up, so we might be able to see some options there. Skill token, we got Forked Lightning. Once per turn, ranged cold fire attack 1 against up to 3 different enemies. That's kind of nice. That's pretty good. Secret Ways. Once per turn, move 1. You're able to enter mountains for move cost 5, and they're considered a safe space for you. If you pay a blue mana, you are able to enter lakes for... If you pay a blue mana, you're able to enter lakes for move cost of 2 this turn, and lakes are considered a safe space for you at the end of this turn. It's pretty situational. Mountains having a move of 5, cost of 5, and you only getting 1 move out of it. It's an extra move once per turn, but yeah, ranged cold fire attack. The problem with that, I think, is that it's resisted by fire and cold, and it's only 1. But yeah, it's not bad. You put in Refreshing Breeze once per round, flip this to get heal 1, and a white crystal to your inventory. Which is not terrible. Okay, advanced actions. We have Song of Wind, move 2, move cost of plains, deserts, and wastelands reduced by 1 to a minimum of 0 this turn. So Song of Wind alone, just by itself, would allow you to move across 2 plains without even spending a mana. That's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. And then the bottom, move cost of plains, deserts, and wastelands reduced by 2 to a minimum of 0. And you can pay a blue mana to be able to travel through lakes for move cost 0 this turn. That's pretty flexible. Shield Bash is block 3, counts twice against an attack with swiftness, or blue mana for block 5 that counts twice against swiftness. And the blocked enemy gets armor -1 for each point of block higher than needed, to a minimum of 1. That's pretty satisfying. Pure Magic, which is a very flexible card, but it does require mana to even play, which I think is the problem we've had in the past. So it's between these first 2. I like extra move early on. It's a bit of a dead card, or not really a good card, if we're in areas without plains, deserts, or wastelands, such as just in a forest, swamp, dense area. And I think further on you get more swamps and stuff, and yeah, okay, it's pretty flexible, though. Shield Bash, though, some extra block, with the potential to be kind of a double hitter of blocking quite a bit and making it easier to kill. Like, imagine against that hags had we had shield bash. They only had 3, so block 5 would have been... They would have lowered their armor by 2. We would have only needed, like, 3 damage to kill them then, which is a lot easier. I don't know. Do we want to be more movie or do we want to be more killy? If we're going to pick up the monks... They have attack and block. I hate to dish shield bash, but yeah, I think we're going to go with Song of Wind. Okay. Well, we have quite a bit of move. We have 1 with the land. Move 2, heal 1, or block 2. Green mana, move 4, heal 2, or block equal to the unmodified move cost of the space you're in. Mountains 5, lakes 2. This is fire block in the day and ice block at night. Interesting. We have 2 whites and a green. We want to get to the monastery, of course. So we need 3 move for that. It's a hill, I believe, right? Hill. It's a hill. It's definitely a hill. So it's 3 move. Unfortunately, playing the white on Song of Wind doesn't really help a lot. I guess 1 with the land with green mana to move 4 gets us here. I'll let that sit for now. Fucker. Good, I wanted Promise. That was actually the one card I wanted to draw, so that was damn lucky. So with that, we can play this, plus this, that's 4, plus Threaten, it's 2, which is 6 total. And we need 7. I don't have the rep, so would it be better to try to kill... No, trying to kill the Ironclads with this hand is not happening. So I'm better off dumping a card. Which I guess will be Tranquility, and that's 7. Done. End turn. Okay, we're nearing end of round. I gotta burn some cards here. We got a lot of move and not much attack. The Ironclads are behind a wall, so that means they're fortified. Yeah, they're fortified, so we can't use any ranged attack. We gotta block. We don't have to block, but we'll probably block. The Northern Monks have a block 3. But if we use Crystallize... No, we can't. Yeah, we only have white mana to spend on that. Which sucks. So block 3, which we can then... Yeah, okay. So we can do block 3 plus a stamina. That's block 4. And then we play Rage plus our skill, and that's 3. But he has physical resistance. So I have to play more than that. I have to play this. This cuts through the physical resistance, thankfully. But I still need to generate 4 then, so that's going to be those 2 cards. And I also may as well just crystallize to get a white crystal. Done. All right, we got 3 cards left, 2 moves, and a mana draw for whatever good that does us, considering there's no mana in the source. If there was another enemy next to me, I could do the bottom of mana draw with my crystal in order to snipe ranged attack 6, but that's not an option. So we gotta move. Yeah, I think we're just going to spend a swiftness to explore. Okay. Yeah, okay. And then we'll just play this to move in 2 spaces. Unless we want to burn the monastery next time at the start of the round, which would get us a quick artifact and a level up. We wouldn't be able to use our monks on it. Our rep would go down to 0 again, the bottom end is 0. But an artifact this early is kind of appealing. I don't think we really did a lot on our first round here. Nah. I mean, I can move on to the glade, but that doesn't really do anything for us, so that's it. That's all she wrote. Not feeling fantastic about our first round. For this one, I think probably I want Mana Search. Yeah, because it would really be nice to get Song of Wind with white mana, so just as an opener. Okay, good. So we're going to re-roll. We're going to go with red and blue. Damn, that's a bummer. That was gold, of course. Gold is useless at night, so no joy there. I have to just generate 4 move to get to the village. But we might want to actually kill these trackers. I just don't have much I can kill them with. I could use green on Tranquility to draw 2 cards if we want to burn through our deck a bit faster, but that's not super appealing. We could move on to the glade, in which case wounds are not that big of a deal. As soon as we end our turn on one, we can just heal it up. But forests at night are 5 movement. So I'd have to do something like that, plus dump a card, such as Tranquility. But we can also use Tranquility right away to heal, so I don't know. And the problem with taking the damage here is that he has elusive, so that's not good. Shit. Yeah, I don't think this is a good plan. Second guessing this whole plan. I think we probably just want to get to the village and maybe explore and then worry about the rest later. So I do think we're going to play March with the green. And then we're going to use stamina in order to explore once we're on it. Okay. The Mage Tower would be kind of nice to take, but it's either a swamp or a forest, and Song of Wind doesn't help with any of those things. So that sucks. Fuck. We're not doing well here. Do we want to plunder the village? Probably. At this point, I think I need the help. Okay, we have a decent amount of move here. We got Juridic Paths and Song of Wind. We have blue or white mana, whichever one we want. We'll go with Juridic Paths with blue. Gives us move 4. The move cost of one type of terrain is reduced by 1 this turn to a minimum of 2. I don't know if I have to pick that now, or I can pick it whenever. Probably I have to pick it now. So I don't know. Hills, I guess. Okay, that's okay. So we spent 2. It would be 2 to move to this village, and then it would be 2 more to move to this hill. I think we'll do that with Song of Wind. Now the Cursed Hags, if I can muster up 5 ranged attack, but I can't. I can get 4 pretty easily, but I would need concentration to get more than that. I can definitely use improvisation to block 3, dumping Tranquility, and then we could combine, say, Rage. No. We could use our unit to do all sorts of stuff. We could use our unit just to block 3 and call it a day there. But I do want to kill this, because then that gives us... Here we get a white crystal, and we would get a level up, which is kind of nice. And then maybe I could double back to the village next turn in order to pick up another unit, such as the crossbowman. Which would be pretty nice. So let's math this out here. This is all done. We're probably going to use the unit. Mana's already spent, so it would have to be my white crystal on swiftness. So then we're definitely just gonna block. I guess it's a horse apiece, really. I have to use improvisation, but maybe it's better to use that on the block. So that's blocked. And then use this on attack, plus rage 2, and that's 5, and that's all done. Yeah, that's probably the most sensible. Okay. Good. We have Threaten, so we can take advantage of that. Stop drawing white card. I guess I'm burning through my deck faster anyways. So now we double back to the village for 2 moves, such as swiftness. We can do Threaten. We have a red mana. So that's 5. We just need 1 extra, such as playing Determination, I guess. It's fine. That gives us Crossbowmen. And then I think we might want to move towards this keep after that. So we'll see. But yes, swiftness, threaten, -1 rep, and that's 6. Technically, I don't have to play that. Well, I think the reputation thing happens immediately. No, maybe I'm not sure about that. Oh, no. The reputation changes after your turn, at the end of your turn. Oh, okay, cool. So I do not need to spend anything. We have 5 plus 1 is 6, and I can get the crossbowman. They're not normal. Oh, I didn't move. Yep, sorry. I know. Okay, and that would be our turn. We're not going to plunder. So if we wanted to go here, we'd have to move, God, 7 this turn. So maybe I should plunder. Otherwise, it's not super likely to happen. We have green, so I can do move 4 with 1 with the land, and 6 with swiftness, and then 1 extra. Could I actually kill it? Hard to say. I'll use mana draw. Alright, I'll plunder. Okay, that's pretty big. So then I could use mana draw in order to take any... So we can take this and we can set this to green. And then I get 2 green tokens. We can spend 1 of those on 1 with the land to move 4. Throw swiftness in there for move 6. Dump promise out there for 7. That gets us onto the keep. Can I kill the thing in the keep? Probably. Can I block? Maybe not, but that's alright. Alright, it is a shock troop, so that's 3 or 6 if I don't block it. It is unfortified if I can generate 6 ranged attack, but yeah, I can't. I can generate 2, but I needed swiftness, and it's too late now. So, we're gonna have to block this thing for sure, which is going to be concentration plus determination, and then I can use the crossbowman with my forked lightning and call it a day. So this plus this is block 7. You are very blocked. And then the crossbowman, ranged attack 2, and forked lightning is 3 attack, and it is dead. Yeah, that's it. Job done. We get a keep. Alright, we don't have much we can really do at this point. I could dump both cards in order to explore, or I could crystallize in order to get a, say, green crystal, which is kind of... Why are you changing on me? Green crystal's pretty good. And that's pretty much it. This round's over. Yeah, I would say we're going pretty slow. I probably just need to watch more people or read more, like, play reports or things like that. I feel like I'm going pretty slow. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Call end of round. All right, mana steel on red would be kind of nice. Okay, took great start. All right, now I don't think we really want to replace either of our bros. I could get shock troops. I could get guardian golems. I could get Utem guardsmen. I can get any of these out of a keep. Shock troops have range attack 1. All your other units get +1 to all their attacks this turn. It's all your units. Or reduce armor and one attack for chosen enemy by 1, or reduce one enemy attack by 3. Any damage from that attack must be assigned to this unit first, even if the enemy had assassination. Pretty good, though. Reduce an enemy attack by 3. Guardian Golems, I think their big benefit really is that they have physical resist. So basically any attack of 3 or less, they can just tank as if nothing, as if there was no attack. At this stage of the game, that's not bad. But it's also not absurdly good, and I'm kind of happy with our choices. The crossbowmen aren't really that fantastic, but combined with forked lightning, there is some opportunity for some range shenanigans. Let's just explore for now. So I think we're going to go with one with the land and this, and that's a move 4. So let's explore this way. See, like the prowlers there, I could snipe them, no problem, with the crossbowmen and our forked lightning, or with just swiftness, which would probably be even better. Yeah, okay. So we need an extra move. That's 3 move now to go here. And then we will pay our white crystal on swiftness. And that's a kill. And that's a level up, which is pretty nice. We'll go with that. Now, would it have been better to just move on to the dungeon or the monster den here and just kill that for even more fame plus, like, random crystals? Probably. Yeah, probably. But what's done is done. Shapeshift. Once per turn, one basic action card that gives fixed amount of move, attack, or block instead gives the same amount in one of the other 2. So if I play a move 4, it can be a block 4 instead. That is a lot of flexibility. Thunderstorm. Once per round, flip this to gain 1 green or blue mana token and 1 green or white mana token. It's also kind of nice, but it's once per round. Same with Refreshing Breeze, once per round. It's not bad, but I like the shapeshift. The flexibility of that appeals to me. As far as an advanced action, Firebolt, that's pretty good. It's workhorse if we want to stack on more ranged attack. Between that and our skill, we can easily snipe 4 armor stuff. Chilling Stare, influence 3, or a chosen enemy attack loses all attack abilities but not its color. Or for a blue or white mana, influence 5, or a chosen enemy does not attack this turn. Or Intimidate, influence 4, or attack 3, rep -1 no matter what. Red mana, influence 8, or attack 7, rep -2. Painful as hell for sure, but influence 8 on one card is pretty massive. But damn, nothing if not boring as always. I'm a simple, simple man. All right. I think moving on to this, challenging the monster there, and also exploring might be pretty good. The monster den specifically, yeah, you just fight it. So it could be unfortified. We could get a nice easy kill on it. So we need to use stamina for sure. I could use mana draw and get 2 blue tokens, because determination might be quite valuable during the fight if we can't snipe it. Because otherwise I gotta use the gold. Yeah, it's probably the best thing to do. So then this would be that, and this would be set to blue. And that would get 2 blue tokens. One of which is on stamina. But if I want to explore, which I do want to do, we'll dump tranquility as well. So let's move 5. 3 onto here, plus 2. Can't take anything I've done back now. Prowlers, again, we could just pop in the face pretty easily, but we're going to challenge this. It is the Manticore. Ouch. Okay, that's kind of a shitty draw. So it has 4 attack, with poison, with assassination, with swiftness. So I have to block 8. It can be shot in the head, but it has 6 armor and fire resist, which means my fire attacks, which is primarily what I have here, count half. Okay, that's not good. Well, determination is absolutely getting played. I mean, there's no question about that. So that's 5 block there. I just need to muster up 3 more, which is probably going to be the monks. They could do ice attack 4 though, if I wanted to spend the blue on that, but I wouldn't be able to generate enough block to get up to 8 without determination. I can use rage, the bottom of rage, and shapeshift to turn it into block 4, and then we could dump our hand. Let me think. I don't think that's really a better strat. That would be that, but then maybe, well, we could use the blue here, so we could still do both. Yeah, we didn't, mana draw just takes a mana die from the source. It doesn't use the mana. Although, wait, how did I power mana draw? Oh, shit. Yeah, how did I power mana draw? I didn't. I think I just took a gold die and yeah, so I think we have to dump that to power that. Okay, that's done. But yes, I could use the blue here to do ice attack or ice block 4, but ice attack 4 is far more valuable. So say that, say we do that. And say we do determination, that's block 5. I still need 3 block, which would be either using the crossbowman or using rage plus firebolt sideways, which is a really shitty way to use firebolt. But it keeps our crossbowman still afloat. Is it better to use a unit or ditch 1 card? But it is an advanced card. The Mana Core was a shitty draw. I think we can agree. Well, wait a minute. Do I don't even have wait a minute, I don't have enough here. Block 5, but I need 3 more block, which would be rage and firebolt. But then to get the kill, I need to use both my units. If I instead do What a ridiculous unit. This is from the expansion. Why do I have to play with expansion units? I don't have to, but yeah, well, this is tough. Let me math. I'm trying to math. I'm trying to math. The units are going to be used. It just depends. The Ice Attack 4 seems like the best bet. Unquestionably. But getting that 8 block, I think I have to use both units. That's really the only way this works if I want to avoid 4 wounds. Which I would prefer to avoid 4 wounds. I could wound my units. Yes, that's true. I could wound the crossbowmen. They would take 2 wounds, and then that would be it. And then we don't have to block anything. But no, he has assassination. It has to go to me, and that's 4 wounds. That's a lot. That's really a lot. So no, we're going to dump everything. So... yeah... this does count. So this counts as half. Yeah, it's useless. It's useless. Okay, so the block phase is going to be Determination for block 5 and the Crossbowmen for block 3. Onto the damage phase, or the attack phase, we're going to use the blue mana from here for Ice Attack 4, and then I need to generate 2 more with Rage. Yes, so it does salvage my last card. There isn't a way to avoid using both units. Well, the Firebolt bottom is 1.5, and then my other thing is 0.5, so technically that's 2 as well. But I don't think that doesn't do anything. That just saves Rage, and I don't think that's better. So, no. The bottom of Rage would be attack 4. But, well, okay. No, that's true. The bottom of 4, or the bottom of Rage, if I didn't use this, if I use this instead, that's attack 4. But I would still have to use my red steel here, plus my thing. We didn't use Shapeshift for anything. That's true, I didn't use Shapeshift for anything. But I don't think it's valuable. There's nothing that I would generate that I would care about. I mean, the bottom of Firebolt... but no, the Firebolt's an advanced action, so that doesn't count. Really, no, nothing. So it would be the bottom of Rage... plus my steel from Firebolt. Plus my skill. And that would be 6. That would be enough. It would be enough. I'm pretty sure. Because that would be 4 halved to 2 plus 4 is 6. So that would be enough. We would give up mana, our mana steel, our stolen mana. But we would keep the Northern Monks alive and well. It's probably better. Okay, we'll do it that way. Complicated. Kind of complicated there. And that was all just for a monster den. So we get to roll 2 mana dice to get crystals, or possibly fame. Roll crystal die. Okay. I don't know why I did that way. So I got a red, and then I get to choose my color. I'll go with blue. Yes, that's all correct. Process dummy. Okay, that turn took a while. There's another monastery there. That's pretty good. That one we might actually burn down. But we got some prowlers in our way. Pretty easy, though, to just pop them real quick. Swiftness plus that is a kill. Can't go wrong with that. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Okay. So we gotta move 4 at least. 6 might even be better, but 4 is fine. Damn. But Song of Wind on its own, without any mana, does let us move 2 planes by itself, which is pretty good. Then I suppose we could march with just explore. Okay, another mage tower there, a labyrinth, and dragon summoner, which from what I understand is like one of the most deadly things in the game. It's got 8 armor with physical resist and arcane immunity, and for its attack, it summons 2 dungeon monsters. That's probably not getting taken anytime soon. Now we can generate quite a lot of influence on this monastery, but there just isn't any good options, unfortunately. Well, we're at a monastery, though. I could get an advanced card. Force of Nature would be pretty slick. Yes, what am I thinking? I know how to play the game. 6 influence. Yep, 6 influence would get us Force of Nature, which means that concentration plus promise gets the job done. Bada bing, bada boom. Ho ho. Okay, that's good and strong and good. I think that's a good turn for now. We will probably burn the monastery next time. Yes, we have a lot of good cards here that can work out. And we can give... Oh no, we cannot use our units for this one. Yeah, but Force of Nature could be Siege Attack 3 or Block 6. So there's options there, but yes, we're going to burn. Fire Mages. No units can be used, blah, blah, blah. They have Fire Attack 6. That's alright. Force of Nature can block that utterly. They also have 5 armor with Fire Resist. So I cannot snipe them, unfortunately, but that's fine. We can't use our units. I think it's probably going to be Force of Nature then, with our green crystal to block all 6. Generating 5 attack is a little bit more annoying, unfortunately. I can't use the... Well, I'd have to use another crystal to use the bottom improvisation, but I don't think that's the way to do it. I think really just the top of improvisation, dumping this plus rage is 5, and that's enough of a kill. It doesn't use my skills, though, which is kind of annoying. I'm not using Shapeshift as much as I'd like. Because this is an advanced card. Druidic paths could be used. Oh yeah, okay, hold on that phone, hold that phone. This can be used with this to get move 4, which can be attack or block 4. So that can be just attack 4, and then I could crystallize. But I think it's probably better to just use rage, but it keeps improvisation if we want to get more move next turn or something. I just really wanted to use one of the mana from the source. We can use Forked Lightning, but again, the resist, which is the kind of the problem with Cold Fire Attack 1. That's really quite lame, but I think this will do it. Not bad, not bad, not bad, not bad, not bad. Yeah, that'll do it. So that levels us up, and we get an artifact. So now we can get another follower. Not from here, that's for sure. But yes, we get an artifact, and who doesn't like those? All right, we got the ruby ring. You got a red mana token and a red crystal to your inventory, and fame +1, or burn it to get an endless supply of red and black mana this turn. Fame +1 for each red spell you cast this turn. The diamond ring is the same thing, but for white. I guess I would lean towards having more red tokens. Probably. But I see this dodge and weave that might be... Although in the bottom of Intimidate, attack 7 is very valuable. Dodge and weave, reduce an attack by 2, gain attack 1. In the attack phase, if you did not add any wounds to your hand in the previous combat phase. Bottom, reduce an enemy attack by 4, or 2 attacks of 1, or 2 enemies by 2. Gain attack 2 in the attack phase if you did not add any wounds to your hand. Reduce an enemy attack by 4 is fairly crazy. There's also the white part, you know, you can use white for Chilling Stare to cause a chosen enemy to not attack, but it's a blue, it's cold, so it can't affect anyone with cold resist, but still, it's pretty valuable. Yeah, I would say overall white is probably the better choice. All right. The white mana token, sort of useless. Yeah, sort of useless. We'll probably do this, though. Gets us a fame, a white crystal, and then that's it. I can crystallize, or I could do improvisation with the red mana in order to move 5 spaces, which is probably a smarter thing to do. So I guess we'll do that. So that allows us to explore. Okay. And then I can move 3, so I'm going to move here. And that's it. Now, we still haven't found the city. At the end of round 3, but that's not the worst thing in the world. I would say we're burning through cards a bit faster than him, so I'm going to go Long Night. Sparing Power would be nice if I had a game plan, but I don't have a game plan. So, you know. This is... what? A tomb. You have to fight a dragon enemy. You get a spell and an artifact. That's pretty cool, but yeah, I don't know, man. I think we're going to do... Fuck. The bottom of Druidic Paths would have been really nice, because I got moved here for 2 and then explored. but I'd have to pay my blue crystal. Otherwise, I have to do March and then throw away another card. Yeah. Great. Explore. Ah, we have found the city. 2 keep garrisons, a dungeon, and a city. Ugh, it just sounds so daunting, doesn't it? We're definitely not doing it until next time, until next round. But our positioning now is a little rough. I think ideally we spend this round taking this mage tower. That would be pretty appealing. But it's a wasteland, which is 4, and then it's a hill, which is 3. So I gotta spend 7 move, or maybe 6 move with druidic paths. But yes, maybe. Yes, maybe. And we have to do it sight unseen, which isn't great. But yeah. Getting a spell out of that would be pretty good, and maybe enough fame to level up again. Yes, but this turn is done. I suppose I could have popped the summoners. I get a white crystal here. Okay. Sure, let's just kill the summoners while we're here. Which is just gonna be swiftness with the white mana from the source plus my forked lightning, and that's range attack 4. Whoops. I got you, bro. Gives us another chance to maybe get blue mana in the source, and we get another white crystal, which is not bad. You can only hold 3 of each color, so the diamond ring is a little useless currently. Yep. Okay. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We're gonna use this. All right. So we gotta generate the 7 mana. We did not get blue in the source, so I gotta spend that as a crystal. I'm gonna do it. I'll do it. So that allows us to lower the movement of, say, Wasteland by 1. So it's only 3 move plus the 3 move on the hill. 4 plus 2 is 6 move. The only real problem is I don't think I have enough killing power, but we're probably gonna use both our units on this anyways, so do it. Sorcerers. They have arcane immunity. That's fine. They have they're fortified because they're in a fortified location, so we can't use any ranged attack. They have 6 armor and they have 6 attack, but it's physical attack even though they're sorcerers. That's kind of surprising. The poison and assassination, but generating the block is probably not that big of a deal. Yes. Well, it's not great. Basically, I can use both my units to block. I can use Rage with the mana from the source to get attack 4, and then, yes. I can use Tranquility and Firebolt. No. Rage plus my skill plus Tranquility to get attack 6. That would be one way to do it. It would use up both units, but I think that was kind of always the idea in my mind. Yeah, it's unfortunate I have 3 white crystals and I don't have anything to use them on. Because I already used swiftness. Maybe I shouldn't have used swiftness. What's done is done. Alternatively, we use the red on Firebolt for 3, plus Rage is 5, plus Tranquility. I don't think that's any better. No, that's basically identical. Never mind. The only other option would be to take a large amount of wounds, and I don't want to take 4 wounds, so that's no good. And I don't have enough block otherwise. It's really a horse apiece. There isn't a situation here. I can use Rage as block with Shapeshift, which would be block 4. But I can't generate the other one without dumping both these cards. And then to generate the 6 attack, I'd have to use both units. So... Bleh. That's what this is the result no matter how we spin it. With both my units being used. I do have my other skill though, so I don't think I have. Why do I have to dump both cards? Yes, I could use my red crystal, but I really don't want to. So that would be 4, 5, skill for 6. Using both units to block. I just don't see... Yeah, I don't see another way. The only other way would be, not even that good, really. No, not really. Nothing would be really much of an improvement, so that's the end result. But it gets us a level, and it gets us a spell, so that's a pretty good turn, I think. Okay. So we get a spell. We just get a spell. Whichever spell we want. Demolish. Red mana. Ignore sight fortifications this turn, and enemies get armor -1. That's pretty good for the final city battle, I would say. We can also use Disintegrate. Red plus black during the attack phase to destroy a target enemy, and other enemies get -1 armor. Pretty good. Underground Travel, we've used in the past. Green mana to move up to 3 revealed spaces on the map. You may not move 2 or 3 swamps or lakes this way. Must end on a safe space. It's pretty good. I mean, there's a lot of movement. I think earlier on that's better, but now I'm... I mean, it would still be kind of valuable to move us back over towards the city to get us ready for the final round. It wouldn't be the worst choice. And then green plus black allows us to move onto a fortified location. But we won't be able to play that during the day next round. Meditation. Green mana. Randomly pick 2 cards from your discard pile. Place them either on top or bottom of your deeds deck. Your hand limit is higher by 2 the next time you draw cards. That's interesting. It is interesting. If we could pick the 2... Oh, that's what the bottom is, yes. So green plus black. Same, but you get to pick the 2 cards. That's a pretty powerful effect. But not insanely powerful, I don't think. I guess I lean Demolish. Yeah. I lean Demolish. Why did I take back Firebolt? Oh, I never put it down. But we had to put it down, right? 4, 5... No, I didn't. Because we used Fork Lightning. Right. No, I got to keep that. Skill token. We have Beguile. Once per turn. Influence 3, except... well... Influence 3 or 2 when at a fortified site, or 4 when at a magical glade. That's true. We are at a mage tower. So there is the ice golems. 8 influence. They have 4 armor with cold and physical resist. That's the big factor there. That's pretty phenomenal. Attack or block 3, or for a blue mana, ice attack 6. Interesting. I have -1 influence. But yeah, we could probably muster up enough to afford it if we wanted. I have an extra unit slot, so that's kind of tempting, and this would add an extra 2. Regenerate, pay a mana of any color, throw away a wound from your hand, also draw a card. Okay. Howl of the Pack, once per round. 1 card played sideways worth +4 for each command token. Without a unit, gain an extra +1. So, if we didn't want to recruit anything, we could get once per round any card worth 5 of a basic action. Next turn after that, you may reduce the armor of an enemy by 1 and 1 attack of the same or another enemy by 1. So we play a card sideways to get like 5 move to get us onto the city. But no, that wouldn't work. Or get us next to the city, I guess. And then the next turn we could use that. That's really would be tricky to math out. I guess I lean towards Beguile, even though maybe it's the worst option. On her own. Influence 1 or 3 if you do not recruit any unit for influence this turn. So only if you're using influence for some other card or some other effect. Or for healing. Or for buying advanced actions out of a monastery. Yeah, there's other uses. Okay, that's it. We also get an advanced action. Intimidate, Dodge and Weave, or Rush of Adrenaline. For each of the first 3 wounds you take to your hand this turn, draw a card. Oh! It's pretty good. During the final encounter. Red or green mana. After taking the first wound to your hand this turn, throw it away and draw a card. For each of the next 3 wounds you take, draw a card. Not bad, but I really do need white stuff. I need the white stuff, baby. Okay. All right. Yes. It would be nice to it would be nice to hire something, but we're not hiring anything with this hand. So we'd have to just start dumping. But, you know, as they say, don't fight your hand. Alternative would be to take on the Dragon Summoner, but good fucking luck with that, man. It just seems awful. However, we do have we have Disintegrate we could play. But it has to be during the attack phase of combat. Which means that we could kill it, but I'd have to survive the double summons. And that's not really ideal. The only other option is to trek back to the tomb, but that's pretty bad, because the tomb was like a dragon and... No, the tomb was just a dragon. But it's unlikely to be a summoner, so it might be a better option. But to get there, I have to move very far. That's 8 move points. We're set up for a fight, and that's it. The Dragon Summoner might be the best bet. Maybe. Dodge and weave kind of thing. Ah, God, that's a tough one to math out because you can't math it out because you don't know what the dungeons are. We're gonna take wounds. It's like undoubtable. But it's still, if we can survive that, we can play Disintegrate for very easily and just remove it. I don't have to generate the 8 attack. Am I crazy? I'm gonna be fucking crazy. No, it has Arcane immunity. Cannot be targeted by Disintegrate. Cannot be targeted by non-attack or non-block effects from any source. That includes Disintegrate. So, yeah, this is, like, the meanest fucking creature. Alternatively, we could move here and attempt this, which is a dragon and a dungeon monster. But it might be doable with this hand. The only problem is generating the movement. Yeah, I have no good options for generating movement, unfortunately. So, fuck. Damn it. That really sucks. I don't want to dump any of these cards. But I have to discard a card if I want to redraw. And then you're just hoping to get it. It honestly might be the diamond ring. Well, I can play it. I can't get the crystal. Token's useless, but I at least get a fame. But, yeah, it's not good. God, and then we still didn't get it. Okay, this is looking good. Bad. He's got 1 card left. I have 8 cards left. We gotta just... We gotta just fucking do something. But I can't just burn 4 fucking cards to get there, can I? I kind of need all these cards. I was hoping to use mana, the bottom of mana draw, to use 2 red tokens for Demolish, or Disintegrate and Firebolt. 4 cards. I cannot. I just cannot. We're fucked. I'm fucked, man. I have too much combat stuff and not enough move. I screwed myself. I didn't get the good card. I picked up only combat stuff. I went way too heavy on that front. What we can do, Rage, I could spend the red crystal I have and turn that into 4 move. That would be our one option. Okay. And then at this point, we're just fucking going for it because I got no other good stuff. Okay. Now they both have physical resists. They don't have any fortifications though. Which means that Firebolt plus my Forked Lightning kills the gargoyle straight up. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. We're gonna use mana draw then with a white crystal. And we're gonna use Forked Lightning. So this is going to be set. We're gonna take a black one, and this is going to be set to red. Okay. That's fine, and then I generate 2 red tokens. And we use that there. Plus that. Gargoyle's dead. Done. Problem solved. Put that there. Alright, now the Ice Dragon's a little bit trickier. Because it has Paralyze. It has Paralyze and Ice Attack. Which means that if I get hit by it, if I take any wounds, I have to dump all my cards. Non-wound cards. If a unit gets hit by it, it's just fucking dead. We're going to use Dodge and Weave, of course. this, probably with a white crystal, but maybe not. Reduce one enemy attack by 2. Lowers it to 4. We can play Force of Nature for block 6, but I can't play it for block 6, can I? So no, we have to use the white crystal for the bottom part to reduce it to 4. And then I do have to kill a unit, which is probably going to be the crossbowman. Yeah. Yeah. Nah, yeah. I think that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. We don't need him. We don't need him. The ranged attack isn't really that great in the city battle, anyways. So then he's blocked, and then, you know, I gained 2 attack, but it doesn't. We don't want to fight this thing, so we're just using demolish with red plus black. How exciting is that? And we just fucking destroy him. Now, if he had fire resist instead, I wouldn't have been able to do it. But he has ice resist, and thus very susceptible to disintegrate, and bada bing, bada boom. That's a victory. That's pretty slick, man. All those combat cards did pay off. And Shapeshift paid off very nicely. We used a lot of crystals that turn, though. That was an expensive turn. I hope that doesn't fuck me in the long run. But I really needed to draw big, because round's almost over. Alright, and for beating that, we got, what, 2 artifacts? Yeah, 2 artifacts. Holy shit. So how that works, you draw 3, and you pick 2 of them. Oh, man. Oh, man. Druidic Staff. Discard a card. Depending on its color, you get white, move up to 2 revealed spaces to a saved space. Blue, get 2 crystals of any one color. Red, ready a level 3 unit or lower. Or green, heal 3. And then destroy the staff to choose 2 of the options above without discarding any cards. That's pretty strong. That's pretty strong. Bow of Stars Dawn. When you play this, discard any amount of cards from your hand. You get range attack 2 for each card you discard this way. Fame +1 for each enemy defeat in the current phase of combat. It's a nice thought. Like, earlier on, that is a really strong card. Or a pretty strong card. But during the city battle, when everything's fortified, unless you have a way to remove all enemy fortifications, you know, like if you had underground travel or underground attack, I mean, which ignores site fortifications. That's pretty good. Destroy it to have each of your range attacks this turn either doubled or become a siege attack of the same element. You may also double any siege attacks, but they become range attacks of the same element. Okay. Or Banner of Fortitude. Assign this to a unit you control. Once a round, when this unit is about to get wounded, flip this card to ignore the wound and any additional effects from it. The unit can still only be assigned damage once each combat. And then destroy it to heal all your units completely anytime except combat. Okay. Well, we'll take the staff for sure, and I do have a decent amount of range attacks. But I just really question the efficacy in the final battle, whereas Banner of Fortitude lets me just completely, like, tank something, potentially. Alright. So, good. Now, the Druidic Staff, if we discard a green card, or if we discard a white card, we can move up to 2 revealed spaces to a safe space. That would allow me to get to the white mine, which is pretty strong, and then we could theoretically move next turn onto the village in the swamp next to the city. Not bad. Not bad, not bad. Granted, the village isn't that great of a spot. We could maybe pick up guardsmen, but there's just no keeps around here. Alternatively, we move on to the Mage Tower, because I can get some influence, but I'd have to ditch Promise. Yeah, it's not great. Yeah, I mean, using the Druidic Staff to get 2 crystals of a color is kind of nice. I was looking forward to the Ice Golems, but I just don't know if it's super doable. Well, okay. No, we don't have blue, unfortunately. Shit. Oh, but I have green. And with Force of Nature and Shapeshift. Oh, but that's an advanced action. Damn it. No, none of that works. Okay, but no, this is a hill, so I could improvise with Banner of Fortitude, but the problem is, I just don't think I can... Well, no, maybe I can. I'd have to dump everything. Or nearly everything. But that's probably okay. So, improvisation with this is move 3. That gets us onto the Mage Tower. Then we'd have to use Promise here. That's 4. This Beguile would be 6. I have to get 3 more, which would then be all my other cards. Which is a little questionable. It's questionable. I do have another influence card in there, but I can't really afford to wait, because otherwise I end my turn on the Mage Tower, and I'd like to make a little progress closer to the city this round. So it's quite lame. It's quite lame, but I'm gonna do it. And that allows me to get the Ice Golems, which will be a nice unit. Oh yeah, I had that tactic. That's right. Okay, well, I don't know how much good that did me. Okay. But we did pick up Song of Wind, which is pretty nice. We also have Threaten, but there isn't really much else I can get except for maybe a spell. We could possibly pick up Underground Travel. That wouldn't be bad either. The spell costs 7 and one of the green mana. So Threaten is 5. I'm at -1 still, so that would be 4. Plus 2 is 6. Plus 1, such as Rage. That's 7. And, but then I have to spend the green mana. So really, we would want to use Concentration. But alternatively, why wouldn't I just... No, but I have to spend... Yeah, no, that's how it would have to work. I'd have to use this to generate the red token. And then use this to buy the card. That's all correct. Okay, but that gets us Underground Travel, which we can then use to bypass a lot of shit to get onto the city. But not really. Well, no, we can't use it to get onto the city, but I can use it to cross all this wasteland, maybe. Like, I might be able to end up on the Glade and then go in with a gold token as a little extra, which would be kind of nice. Otherwise, meditation or restoration aren't really viable in the final battle either. But we might not be able to do the final battle in one go. In which case, restoration after the first attempt to heal up a bunch of wounds would be pretty strong, but that's assuming I get it. That's a pickle. This is a swamp though, which does hurt underground travel a bit. Meditation might actually help too. Alright, I'll go with meditation. Okay. And that's it. Because he had already called in a round, I guess. So that was dumb of me. Well, yeah, it was kind of dumb of me. Yeah, okay. We'll see, man. We'll see. Alright, early bird or planning. If we're going to make for a long round, I have to take early bird as much as I would like planning. We're hoping meditation helps me out a bit. So early bird it is. Alright. Druidic Paths is good. The problem is I don't have any blue mana. Magic Familiars, man, it's really rough. When recruiting, you have to pay 1 mana of basic color and place a mana token of that color on the unit. Corresponding option is increased. At the start of each round. Oh, at the start of each round, not turn. Why did I think it was turn? Okay. So we could theoretically get the Magic Familiars with white, which would make it move or influence 5, which would really help me get over there. That's not bad. That's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad. Because we have promise. We have this. So that's influence 4. Really, 3 influence. Well, I thought there was something special maybe with the Magic Familiars. Magic Familiars. Oh, they can be recruited on a Magic Glade. Counts as your action for the turn, but is not considered to be an interaction. You just pay the required influence and recruit them. Reputation bonus or penalty has no impact on this. Interesting. But we could recruit them on the Magic Glade if we want to try to get there, but I think the 5 move from them would really help get there. And then later on during the fight, we could just have them tank something with 5 armor. So then my reputation doesn't matter. I just have to muster up 2 more influence, which is from Beguile. That's pretty simple. And then we get our Magic Familiars with white. Good. That's pretty simple. Bit of a slow first round, but I guess it kind of paid off. Yeah. Okay. We still didn't get blue, unfortunately. But we do have green, so we can do this. We can also use the Magic Familiars, which is move 5. Wastelands are 4. Hills are 3. Swamps are 5. Tricky. So this plus this is 7. we're definitely using the familiars. Unless I wanted to use them to pick up a spell, but space spending, blue mana. This turn you may move to spaces and explore new tiles that are 2 spaces away from you as if they were adjacent. It's okay. But yeah, okay. So let's move 5, and then we need an extra 2. Which is probably going to be Rage with Shapeshift to turn that to move 2. So that's 7. And that's 4, and that's 3. That allows us to get a white crystal. Whoops. Process that. Holy shit! Well, fuck that. He drew the blue-white, so it does 4. Oh, that was the worst one possible. Fuck me. What the hell? And that's my whole turn I'm doing. Brilliant. Or we might only get 1 shot at this then. And I don't have very many crystals at all. And of course, he drew another blue. Down to 8 already. I got 17 in my deck. Okay, we need to move again, so we're going to be using one with the land. Green, and that's a move 4, which isn't quite enough, but we can also use Druidic Paths. The top part, move 2, so that's 6. But the move cost of 1 space is reduced by 1 this turn, so this would normally be 8. But we can get it down to 7. Yeah, so we can get it down to 7. And we can dump Crystallize. And that allows us to get here. That's now revealed. Crossbowman, Guardsman, Shadow, and Delphana Masters, which I think is the worst one. But we'll see what we get. Let's end. Okay. I would not say this is a particularly strong hand to go in on. Yeah, but we could try. We could use Tranquility with the gold to draw 2 cards. Unfortunately, like, it's all white. We have 2 white crystals, 2 white in the source. This is shit. No, I didn't want to do that. I really didn't want to do that. It's a rough one, man. I think we are waiting 1 more turn. Of course, he drew blue. Okay. Great. I guess we're going in. I got nothing else I can do. I can use meditation with the gold right now. But it doesn't actually help us this turn. It helps us next turn. But considering next turn is the last turn, we may as well use meditation, but it gives up my green token. So that's really questionable. It would get, like, Rage back, and maybe 1 with the land back. I don't think we're going to do this in 1 go anyways, so sure. God, I'm going to regret all this. Oh, but it's too random, that's right. Okay. Okay, that's done. Alright, I also have to generate the 2 move to get on here. Thankfully, it's only 2 move. It's not actually a swamp, so that's going to be Swiftness. So that's also spent, and then we get on the city. Okay, here we go again. Now keep in mind, the magic familiars are there to be shot. They are there to get shot in the head. They have 5 armor. The Delphana Masters have assassination. These 2 have poison. But I don't actually care if the magic familiars get 2 wounds. So probably the crossbowmen are going to tank that. We don't have enough siege attack to do anything, so none of that's happening. Yeah, none of that's happening. None of them would really be a viable target except the crossbowmen, and I can't generate 4 siege. Would be nice, but no. So the crossbowmen are going to be shooting the magic familiars. Done. We have Force of Nature, and really we can only use the top part of it, so we probably should. In which case, we probably don't want to do that. We probably want the shadows to attack here, and then we can... The ice golems already have physical resist, so the crossbowmen just bounce off of them, no problem. And then we can give the northern monks physical resist, and the crossbowmen bounce off of them, no problem. Okay, so that's happening as well. But what we still need to concern ourselves with, then, assuming we're not blocking anything, we still need to block the Delphana Masters. I don't have to... Well, yes, I have to. Because they will just assassinate somebody. It's 5 cold fire. So every type of block is halved. They don't have swiftness or anything like that, but we still need to generate 10 block. I don't have many great options. I've picked 2 blue units, and I don't have any blue, so GG, Mangg. That means I also can't utilize the bottom of determination. We can use improvisation, the bottom, to get block 5 out of, say, the firebolt. That's an option. No, that wouldn't work. Yeah, the Delphana Masters, that is a fucking nasty card. We essentially have to block it. There is no negotiation. It has to be assigned to me, and it will dump my entire hand. So there just isn't an option there. We're definitely not doing this in one go, but if I can pick off a few of the enemies, maybe we can make this work. But my units are going to be kind of spent, so that's just not good. Okay, the monks and the golems can both block 3. That gets us up to 6 total. And then I could do the bottom of rage with the red in order to turn that into block, and that would be 10 block total. So that would be that. That would be both my units, though. That would be all my units spent, and my mana from the sword, like my red spent. I can play Firebolt, though, to get a red crystal, which is probably the best thing, because then we can use improvisation, the bottom of which to get attack 5 and kill one thing. The crossbowman. That's it. That's not good. This was really foolhardy. I don't think we're going to succeed on this attempt. Alternatively, we use the bottom of improvisation instead of rage, and we get block 5. The problem with that is it doesn't... Well, we can use that plus determination for, well, whatever, block 2. Basically, that would be, I don't know, 7, 5, 7, 9, and get 9 block. That's not good. But I could use Firebolt to make a red crystal, put it on here, make that into block. And that would be sick. That would be... But no, then I can't. I have to discard a card for improvisation. So no. None of that works. None of that works. There isn't a way that I can generate 10 block on my own. I could salvage one of the units, but they can only do attack 3 anyways. Like, the whole point of the Ice Golem... Well, no. Most of the point was for them to absorb hits. And I don't think it's really... I think this is probably the best bet. Putting the Shadow on the Magic Familiar seems like the best bet. Like, I can't generate enough block just for the Delphana Masters. Which is another fucking Lost Legion enemy I have to fight that just seems really tough. Look at these guys. They're tough. Why are they so tough? I don't know. They're just tough. This is just such a nasty token. Also, just being fucked on the source and being fucked on all white all day. It's just not good. The problem is, if I go in here, I spend all my units, all my cards, and all I've done is just not die. That's not a great turn. But the Magic Familiars are already used up, so it doesn't really matter if they die. They're not going to come back this turn, so that doesn't matter. These two they're just getting pinged off. Like, they're not getting used up on that. It's this block portion. Like, yeah, I could not block him. I could take 2 wounds and dump all my cards. But then I still can't really kill much with my units. You know, they could muster up 6 attack and kill, like, the crossbowmen. And that's it. And I could use the skill and I could get 7. So they could technically kill the guardsmen. Great. That's, I guess, somewhat better than what I have going for me right now. But I would have 2 wounds on me. And again, the alternative is Rage, plus both of them blocking, so that's a total of 10 block, which blocks the Masters, so everything gets blocked or absorbed or whatever. And then that leaves this, a Firebolt for attack 5, in which case I kill the crossbowman. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Basically, the crossbowman. Because the shadow wasn't blocked, so I can't kill him. I can't block anything except putting everything into the Delphana Masters. Like, the only other thing would be trying to block the shadow, which is slightly easier. But then the Delphana would just destroy me. And it doesn't really do anything. It doesn't really do anything. So the best that I can do this attempt is to kill the crossbowman, which is a quite lame thing. But yeah, I guess that's everything. Okay, so we have the crossbowman. This gets used up. This gets used up. And our magic familiar is wounded. And that's all she wrote. But we might draw into some white cards here. We did. This doesn't look much better. I still have 8 cards in my deck. We really kind of screwed the pooch here. No, very little of this is combat stuff. There's no way I'm winning. Unfortunate. But see, this is why we're still doing First Conquest. Because I still have a hell of a lot to learn, and why bother dragging it out to like 4 hours or something on a full conquest when I can still learn stuff across 2 hours? There just isn't anything that's going to happen here. I don't even have an attack card. I don't have a single attack. So GG, I killed some crossbowmen in the big capital city. Yeah, there's really nothing I could do. I can wound some things. I can maybe wound some units to keep going, but the Delphana Masters are gonna hit me. I can't block everything. I have no block. I think we built this deck really poorly. The things we purchased did not help me in the long run. I think we ended up with too much movement. I mean, look at my final hand here. Move, move, move. Influence, mana draw, and concentration. So, all right. That's it. Doesn't really matter. End turn and round. Game over. Game over, man. 84. That's a pretty shit score considering I didn't win. We got a lot of fame that time. And 53 base fame is, I think, fairly high. Maybe it's our high score on that front. I did a lot of killing stuff. I did a lot of stuff. I got a lot of cards. I mean, our final card count is, well, yeah, I mean, we got 4 advanced actions and 2 spells and 3 artifacts. And we had 3 units. Like, fairly high-end units, or, you know, for a 5-round game, I mean, fairly high-end. 2 2s and a 3. We had conquered a mage tower, a keep, and burned a monastery, and took a ruin, and a monster den. Like, I felt like we did a lot. It's just we weren't set up right for that final thing. Maybe I should have taken planning. It also didn't help that he burned through those cards so fucking fast. Like, burning through 7 cards off 1 turn, that felt really painful. But yeah, that's just how it goes. You gotta be ready. We knew that, you know. I don't really think it was a bad idea to go over here and take the mage tower and take this thing like that. We got big rewards out of that. But I just probably should have taken underground travel or something. But that would be more movement. I don't know. It's hard to say. Yeah, maybe I should have taken Call to Arms at some point. I think that wasn't available when I was looking. I think I had to have purchased another spell card while I was still at the Mage Tower instead of maybe the ice golems. But well, what would I have done with the Call to Arms? I would have just used like the ice golems or maybe the catapults to kill the crossbowmen. I don't think it would have been better. Yeah, we just have a lot to learn still. I gotta read more. I gotta look at some other videos. I still, yeah, I mean, it's a damn good game and everything. It's just we need to get to the point where I can consistently beat this first conquest. Yeah, we bumped it up to city level 6, and maybe that was a little overeager of me because that it's definitely tougher. That went from 2 dungeon and a keep, or 2 dungeon and a city garrison, to 2 keeps, a dungeon, and a city garrison. And having an extra enemy there does complicate things. I can see why they started at level 5 with that. Once you go to 4 enemies, it's a whole extra thing like that. You have to invest a lot more cards to handle another enemy. Um, I mean, as it turns out, like the two keep enemies didn't really complicate much because I had the physical resistance. So maybe the two dungeon enemies would have also been like even more tricky, but I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, yeah, that knocked our confidence down a peg, I think. We'll be back at it, don't worry. Don't worry. There'll be more Mage Night. Plenty more Mage Night. But for now, my name is Mangg. This has been Mage Night, and I will see you fine folks next time.